Welcome back, iCyber golfers. Today I got a pretty cool little training tool for you that's offered by SkyTrak's software, the subscription licenses. So what we're going to do is, if you look on the far right of this skills assessment page, you're going to see that we have the wedge matrix. So let me go back once so you know exactly how we got here. If we load up our software and we go to game evaluation, we're going to go into the wedge matrix. What the wedge matrix is it's going to take me through a series of swings that are going to give me an average distance for this one club from different swing heights. So we're going to ignore the standard pitch, which is something just like that. It's basically just a little 1/8, 1/4 swing. That's a chip. We're going to focus on the half swing, which is a 90 degree. Our arms are going to be 90 degrees. This lead arm is going to be 90 degrees. Then we're going to do a 3/4 swing, which is a little higher. And then we're going to do a full swing, which is above our head all the way through. What that's going to do is that's going to deliver distances for this one club from those three different swing heights. Then we're going to go on to our other wedges. And overall, we're going to build ourselves a matrix, a grid. What is a half swing like every single club? What distance does that give me? What does every club 3/4 swing give me in terms of distance? And then obviously, what does every full swing from a club give me? And I mean club, I mean wedges. What do they give me in terms of distance? Then you have a tool that you can have in your pocket. You can have this report on your phone that you just pull up, that you can reference whenever you're around the green at a given distance. You guys have seen me play and I'm like, man, I don't like that distance. I don't like 60 yards. I don't like those little 51-yard shots. Well, the wedge matrix is going to give me an answer to what clubs do I hit 51 yards and at what height do I need to swing that club. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and get this wedge matrix started up. So I'm going to select wedge matrix and I'm going to choose get started. Once it loads up, it's going to tell me some basic information about what the wedge matrix is. I just explained all of that to you. So you could read it, but essentially that's all what I just told you is basically what it's going to happen. So I'm going to hit begin. This is where we're going to set up our wedge matrix. What clubs do we care about? So I'm only going to do 4 clubs. I'm going to choose 4. I'm only going to do 3 swing types. And if you look over here to the, on the right-hand side, these are the swing types. So I only care about a half swing. I only care about a 3/4 swing, and I only care about a full swing. I don't care about the traditional pitch shot. Most of my clubs, no matter what loft they are, I can pitch them 10 yards. And the only difference is, depending on the loft, it's either going to be 10 yards that comes in high, 10 yards that comes in medium, or 10 yards that goes low. But those are things that I've just built, and I know what I need to do for 10 yards. It's when you get to those 25 yards, the 30 yards, the 40 yards, 50 yards. That's where these become critical. So long story short, that's what we got. 4 clubs, 3 swing types. We're only going to do 3 shots per club, per swing type. So that means my lob wedge is going to have 9 swings that I'm going to keep track of. Half, 3/4, and full. 3 of each of those. Move on to the next. You kind of see the telemetry, the math here, right? In terms of the clubs we care about, we're going to start off with the lob wedge. So that's cool. Not going to change that. Then we're going to move to the 58 degree. Then we're going to move to the sand wedge. And we're going to finish up with the approach or the gap wedge. So this is how we're going to set up the wedge matrix. So the very first thing it wants me to do is it wants me to do a half swing with the lob wedge. We're going to do 3 of those. And again, I'm going to focus on trying to just make pure good contact with this. If I hit a shot that's a little bit wonky, if it goes off to the right, shoots off, which you guys have seen me do, then I'm not going to count that shot. I'll just retake it. If I hit a shot good, it's just not on line in terms of the dispersion line, I'm going to keep that shot in because I'm more concerned about the carry distance rather than the direction. I can fix the direction, but if I've hit that the way I wanted to hit it, just happen to pull it across my body, I'm okay with that. So that's going to be the methodology we follow here. Move it slightly in front of me, and my focus is going to be a half swing. So something like that with this lob wedge, half swing. Again, focusing on contact and pushing this ball through down. Let's see where this takes us with our first swing. Half swing with the lob wedge and our wedge matrix. half swing. That went off to the right. We're not going to count that shot. I don't know why, but that's been my MO. Here's what I can tell you. I know that that shot's actually a 35 yard. That's probably the right shot, but I do not like that trajectory. So let's fix that. And I don't know what's going on with this shot, but usually my second shot fixes it. So let's see if we can get that back in line. 50 half swing with the lob wedge. It's going to be out to the slightly to the right, but again, looking for that, probably that 30 yard, 36 yard. Yep. That's what I would expect from lob wedge. I'm going to try to make better contact with my next two shots, but I'm going to keep that one in the bag, slightly open still. I don't know. I'm coming inside out, so I'm not going to count that one. I'm coming from the outside in. I'm not going to count that one. I don't really think I'm focusing on this, so I'm going to delete that one. I just got to get 3 good half swings, and this is the only club that does that to me. Don't know what it is, but it just does that to me. Across my body. It's a low trajectory, but I expect it to be that 30 to 40 yards. And what we're going to do is we're going to build an average here. So out of 2 shots, my average shot with the lob wedge, a half shot, is 39 yards. My numbers are all optimal, so that was a better take. Last one here with the lob wedge, and then we'll move on to the 3/4 shot with the lob wedge. Again, guys, not going to keep that one. That's pretty wild, and I don't like that. Going to have to fix that, but I'm sure it's my mechanics are not right with this club at that weird swing height. Yep, let's just do this. Nope, that's not going to work either. I'm going to try to get 3 swings for you with this lob wedge. Tell you that. I'm really struggling here with this. It's not this hard either. That is ridiculous, guys. This is a case of the yips. I haven't had this in a while, so let's get this fixed real quick. Yeah, one more. This is terrible, guys. This is terrible. I'm going to redo that last shot. A little embarrassing, to be honest with you. But once I get through this, I think it's going to be fine. We just got to get through this. There we go. And of course it didn't read because we were not in the spot we needed to be in, but at least I made better contact. So let's finish off with that. Not happy at all. Not happy at all. If it gets us to 30 yards, we're just going to keep it and move on. That was rather embarrassing. So now we're going to take the 3/4 swing. This tends to be a little bit better. It's just that half swing that I think my mechanics get off with the lob wedge. And it does seem to only be that lob wedge that gives me that where I struggle. So let me collect all these balls. Let me see if I can make a better showing than that. And then we'll just go from there. Got some rain coming into the area tonight. Here in the Texas area. Got another little cool front pushing through. But it should be all out of the way by the time that we get to Super Bowl Sunday. Alrighty, let's try this again. See if we can get past it. All right, we're going to take the lob wedge and we're going to do a 3/4 swing at it and see if we can get this thing locked in. You guys kind of see the idea here, right? We're going to take these shot types and just knock them out. Put it slightly in front of the red dot. Then focus on that swing position. Get everything in sync and let's go. 3/4 swing. Across my body. Again, I'm not so concerned about the path. That's a 60-yard shot. It's what I would expect possibly with the 3/4. And that's exactly what I saw. So going to fix my body position slightly. But again, that's a better contact with the lob wedge. I just have a problem with the half swing with the lob wedge. It's always been my issue with this club. Again, take a 3/4 shot, lob wedge. There it is. Expecting that 60-ish yard. There it is. So 59 yards. And now you can see we're starting to build a matrix for this club. And we'll take one more, a little bit more open, same swing path. Across my body. See if we got the 60 yards. And you guys see it there. So my average shot was 60 yards, a 3/4 swing with the lob wedge. What I expect, and you guys may have heard me say this when I play Simulator Golf Tour, is that my lob wedge is my 77-yard club. And what I mean by that is this next swing, if I hit it exactly like I expect to hit it, this is going to go 77 yards. So let's go ahead and make this shot. Would be really amazing if I basically told you guys exactly what's going to happen and it happens, but sometimes it just works. So let's go. Line it up just like we normally would, and let's take our full shot, lob wedge. There's our lob wedge. Good line. You guys would have seen me line that up the right direction. And that's about almost 70 yards. So we make better contact with these next two, and I think we're going to be at our number, which is 77 yards. So again, line it up, more open. Take our draw swing at it. It's a great draw swing right there. Cross our body. 76 yards. We're zeroing it in. But this is what I mean when I say, putting the time in, understanding your different shot shapes, what they do, and then executing. So last one here, see if we can hit our number, 77 yards. And there's our last shot. $77 yards. So again, it worked out. Now we're going to switch. We're going to switch over to the 58 degree. I have never done wedge matrix on my 58 degree. So I personally am curious what this is going to look like. I have an idea that maybe the half swing goes 40 yards just based off of the few times that I've used it inside of some Simulator Golf Tour rounds, but I don't know. So let's see what it does. So we're going to look for a half swing with the 58 degree. I'm not so concerned about the dispersion. I don't care if it's offline. I just want to get good contact and see where it ends up. Let's do a half swing with the 58 degree and go from there. That's a good swing with the half. That's a good half swing with the lob wedge. And there we go, 40 yards. That's what I would expect based off of the few times that I did make a half swing with it and I made good contact. So let's take two more swings at it. I'm not going to worry too much about my alignment. I just want to get contact. Same thing, repeat it, half swing. It's a good half swing. Cross my body. And there's our 40 yards. So this half swing with a 58 degree seems like it's going to be 40 yards. One more, and then we should finish off with the half swing. Then we'll move to the 3/4. A little more of a flat trajectory, but I anticipate the same distance-ish. Went a little further. Still in the 40-yard range, so I know this is going to be that 40 to 50 yard. Let's take a 3/4 swing with that. A little higher. I anticipate this will probably be 50-ish, maybe 60. But now that's a 3/4 swing. All right, 3/4 swing with the 58 degree. Great contact. Let's see where that ends up. That felt good. So I know that shot I feel relaxed taking, 51 yards, perfect. So now I'm starting to fill in the gaps with the distances that I hated, out there on the Simulator Golf Tour. When I'd get into those 50 yards, and now I know that's a really relaxed 3/4, 58 degree shot. So let's see if we can repeat that on that same type of distance. 58 degree, 3/4 shot. Pure contact. Great line. Let's see if we hit the 50-yard mark. And we did. So now I know, because of this wedge matrix, that I can hit. I have a 50-yard club now. I'll hit one more, and this will finish out our 3/4 swing. And we'll move on to the last swing type with this. There we go. I expect that same rough range, 50 yards. So boom, now I have something I can measure. Let's hit these last three. So these are going to be full swings with the 58 degree. What I would maybe anticipate this doing is being like the 60-yard club, but now I have a gauge. If I hit this 60 yards, I know 60 yards is either a full 58 degree or it's likely going to be a 3/4 lob wedge. So that's what I'm talking about, the wedge matrix. And what do I feel more comfortable hitting, right? So let's see if we can finish this off with the full swing, 58 degree. It's a good 58 degree. Let's see where that ends up. Yeah, 70 yards. If you guys know, my full lob wedge is 77 yards. So now I have something that lands a little bit in between that if I needed to. Now I know possibly that I have a 70-yard club in my bag. And those are distances I just absolutely despised when I was hitting them in the simulator world. So let's see if we can hit two of those about the same distance. It's a great swing, great line. More importantly, this club feels nice. 58 yards, again, probably got underneath that, but I'm looking for the average here. That's about 64 yards, so I'm just looking for the average. And it seems like the average might be around that 65 to 70 yards. So let's hit this last one, see if we can make really good contact with it, and then we'll wrap this part up and move on to the next club. That's it right there. Whatever that number is, that would be, I'd feel comfortable hitting that number. 65 yards. So my average, 64 yards, 58 degree. Full swing. Okay, so let's go to the sand wedge. And then after that, all we have left is the approach wedge, which you guys know that's been my dagger for the longest time. So let me go ahead and pull these out. Maybe we can make a nice little continuous run here with this approach wedge and finish all these and then move over, with the sand wedge, and then complete our wedge matrix with the approach wedge. These are some of the cool tools, and I could include the pitching wedge if I chose. So I could have chose to do 5 clubs, but I don't really chip with my pitching wedge. I generally just use that as a full swing, which gets me that 112 yards to potentially 120. So first shot up here is sand wedge, half swing. Don't know what to expect with half swings nowadays. Let's just see what we got. Sand wedge. That was a little more than half. Let's just see where it ends up. So that was a very relaxed half swing that went about 70 yards. So now you can kind of see where the overlap is, right? Do I want to take a full 58 degree or do I want to take a half sand wedge and get 70 yards? And when we finish this and you see the report, then it's going to kind of just all pop and make sense. Half swing. Let's do another one. That's a good half swing right there. Wherever that lands is more representative of what, yeah, okay. So we have some overlap, which is okay. But now I know, what do I feel more comfortable hitting? Do I like the way that this sand wedge feels with a half swing, or do I like the way that that 58 degree feels with a half swing? Because now I have 2 clubs. It's just my preference now. Which one do I want to choose? One more? Yeah, one more. That's a good one right there. Great line, great height. I think we're seeing the same stuff here. It's about that 60-ish, 65 yards is the average. That's almost identical, right, to one of the other clubs we just hit, but from a different swing height. Now we're going to take a 3/4 swing. Expect this to go a little further, and then we'll see where we're at. So take a 3/4 swing, sand wedge. Let's see where this ends up. Still setting up for the draw. Nice, easy, relaxed swing, but let's see where that puts us. 70 yards. Relaxed swing, 70 yards. That was a full swing with the 58 degree. Okay. And if we can put 3 of those in that same area, then I know what my 70-yard club is. Nice, relaxed swing. And that's what you want. You want to find that happy medium where you're not having to just whip it out there. Look at that. That's 75 yards, 76 yards. Our average is going to be around that 70, 74. So I'll hit this last one. Again, try to Do the same exact swing speeds, same tempo, and let's see where we end up. Nice swing tempo on that. High shaping shot, 70 yards. So if we look at the average, that's a 75 yard club. So do I take a 3/4 sand wedge or a full lob wedge to get 77 yards? Last one here, last full swing with the sand wedge. I think I told you guys in those simulator rounds, this was my 90 yard club. That's what I expect out of this. I expect 90 yards based off of how I've been hitting this. There it is, 90 yards. And I could hit this 100 yards if I put a little bit more power, but that's the difference. Would I rather hit an easy approach wedge or a powerful sand wedge? So this is just a normal full sand wedge. Nice, easy, clean swing. Great line. Another thing now you can see I got distance control. I got dispersion control. That's only 82, but now I have a range now that I'm playing around with. So if I just need to land on the green for a automatic par, and I need to be between 80 and 90 yards, I'm picking this club up and I'm just taking a regular swing with it. And there's my last shot with some draw. That's probably going to be that 80 to 90 yard range. Yeah, we're good. So now I got an average of 88 yards, which that has traditionally been this. And we'll finish up. Let's see. We're going to do a half swing with our approach wedge. And let's see where we are after this. Alrighty. You guys know my half swings. I don't love them. The only club that I can consistently probably hit halfway with is 58 degree. So let's take a half swing with the approach wedge, see where this ends up. Half swing, approach wedge, did not read. And that's actually good contact too. Too bad. Too bad. Let's try another one. Just got to find that happy zone with the SkyTrak and the approach wedge. Put it right there in front of the red dot. Make that same swing. Got that a little chunky. So let's see where that ends up. That's not a good full one. There's an 84 yard half swing with an approach wedge. Hit another one. Nice, easy swing. Look at that shot. I mean, it's right on line. I wasn't forcing it. 70-ish yards, 78 average. Okay, I have another one in the bag. Just taking a nice relaxed half swing. Got some draw on that. That's going to get more distance. And there's my 80 yards. So now I'm building up a number that we can use. Let's take the 3/4 swing with the approach wedge. Imagine this is probably going to be in that 90-ish range with the 3/4 swing, but just I'm guessing, just based off of these few swings. All right, approach wedge, 3/4. Nice. What I like most about that is just how far off the center line I am. If I need to control a shot and I needed to go 87 to 90 yards, that was a nice easy 3/4 swing with an approach wedge. Wasn't forcing it, didn't overpower it, felt really relaxed, used my draw shape and got it there. There's 2 in a row. Let's see if we follow that same. The path looks identical. Relaxed shot, 87 yards. One more, and I think I know what I got this distance locked in at. And then all that's left is the full swing, which I believe is that 100-ish yard swing with the approach wedge. Here's my last one. Good contact on a rope right down the middle. And that's what I want, consistency. So there's my 90 yards again with a 3/4 swing, or it's going to be 90 yards with a full sand wedge. And which one would I feel more comfortable hitting? I'm pretty sure it's that 3/4 approach wedge because of how easy that felt. Now let's muscle this up and let's see what the Approach Wedge does at a full swing. I believe it's that 100+ yard club. Let's see. 100-yard club. More importantly, able to control the distance, able to control the line. That's 100 yards. When I'm fully warmed up and I'm in the game, I can hit this more than 100 yards if I need to, 105. But this is a normal, easy swing. Giving me the data I need. That has draw. That's going to be 100-ish, I believe. Yeah, 101. And my last one should prove the point. This is probably my 100-yard club. My easy 100-yard club, not full-fledged powerhouse. Easy 100-yard club. There's the additional draw. Here we are, 100 yards. So that should complete the wedge matrix, and this is what you get. So let's take a look at what you see on the screen. As you would expect, let's go with the 58 degree first, right? So in terms of how it's lined up, it says that my 58 degree half swing goes 40 yards. So in the bag, I'm gonna change positions because I have it like the furthest, the one that I hit the farthest is kind of on the upper left-hand side of my bag. The one that I hit the least should be at the bottom right-hand side of my bag. So I'm gonna swap the Lob Wedge and the 58 just in terms of their distancing. You can see my Lob Wedge, it's kind of ironic that the half swing went 34 yards. I imagine that that half swing, if I caught it purely, it's probably around the 40 to 45 range. The half swing from a Sand Wedge went 60 yards, and the half swing from a Gap Wedge went 75 yards. So this is what a wedge matrix does for you. I can print that out. I can screenshot it if I want. That way I know if I need to pull it out of my back pocket, okay, what shots do I got in my bag? All right, would I rather hit, I need to hit 60 yards. What would I rather hit? Well, it looks like my Sand Wedge, if I do a half swing, that's gonna be 60 yards. If I hit a 3/4 Lob Wedge, about 56 yards with some rollout. If I hit a full 58 degree, 65 yards, but probably coming in higher. So this is the tool. This is what it does for you. Again, my goal is just to show you guys what's out there to help you guys get better at sim golf and at real golf. I hope you enjoyed this. I know that first part was brutal with the Lob Wedge, but I'm just here to tell you, I'm a human being. I'm still got practice to do in here, but as I got to my more comfortable clubs, I think you guys can see my confidence level. I was able to call out numbers that I was consistently able to hit, and that's what happens here. So I'll put some work in, but I hope you guys enjoyed this little Cyber Golf U playlist video that I'm going to post out there later today. As always, I really thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.